Hi, my name is Sanjeev. I'm a technical evangelist at Microsoft, and it's my job to evangelize Microsoft technologies. Today, we are going to talk to you about Windows 8 and Windows Phone 8-based opportunities, the ways you can monetize your app, and how you can actually get started. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at the reach and opportunity of Windows and Windows Phone. You heard in the Parse talk today that Windows Phone is the fastest growing mobile platform at this point of time. Over 70% market share gain since last year. Actually, that is better than that. It is 77.6 market share gained over last year. So at this point of time, it is the fastest growing platform in mobile space. Here's the one thing that people don't realize, and that is that Windows and Windows Phone at this point of time are still in this early growth phase where you can get a celebrity status by having a really good app. Compared to the other platforms where the market is pretty much saturated, you have so many apps that if you want to make a splash, it's really, really hard. So for a lot of people who have actually come to this platform and have seen success, it's going to be really awesome. If you hit this time, you can be assured of a guaranteed growth. Let's look at the statistics. It says Windows 8 licenses, 100 million licenses sold since last year. That's 1 year. Now, if you look at the overall big Windows numbers, like if you take it across the stack from Windows XP till Windows 8, there is almost 1 billion Windows licenses. And all these licenses are slowly going to get converted over to the newest, the latest, and greatest. Once that happens, you can just imagine the immense reach of Windows. I mean, you can imagine like from the grandma to the secretary sitting in the office to the little kids, they all have Windows devices of one kind or another. So it is a really awesome opportunities. If you don't believe us, just look at the statistics. Windows Store, over 100,000 applications in just one single year. Over 250 million downloads of these apps. And the most important statistics, 90% of the Windows 8 catalog has actually been downloaded, 90%. If you compare it with the iOS, I have heard statistics that over 70% of the applications have not been downloaded one single time. Not one single time. So you have, if you just look at the Windows 8 statistics, it's almost telling you that there are no dead apps. If you write a quality app, someone or the other is going to use it. So it's awesome. Now, when we look at the Windows Phone platform, the same statistics actually hold true. If we start from the right side, there are 170,000 applications, 50 languages, 191 markets. If you look at the growth, 218% growth. That's insane. Look at the number of developers actually looking into this now. 123 new registered developers this year. 79,000 new apps this year. The revenue is actually increasing. This is a great, great, great time to actually get in. If you look at the list of partners that are coming in, it's insane. Disney is there, Discovery is there, TLC is there, Comcast is there. Why are they coming? Because they see the opportunity. This is the right time to actually get in and make a mark. If you look at the download numbers, Windows Phone has over 2 billion downloads now. That is not an insignificant amount. So it is the right time.
A lot of insanity.
Now, this is the other cool part, right? I mean, if you look at there is fragmentation in some of the mobile markets, and there is some devices are super high-end and very expensive, not accessible to everyone. If you look at the entire Windows Phone marketplace, there are devices all the way from $100, no contract, to the really high-end 41-megapixel Lumia 1020, the likes of which is simply not in the market by any other carrier, by any other manufacturer. So you have devices that are there in the developing countries. You have devices that are out there in the developed countries. And the most beautiful thing, the exact same app. The exact same app without any modification, without any recompilation, without any ifs and checks runs on all these platforms. Equally fluid, equally smooth, giving the exact same experience. If you look at the numbers, there's Windows Phone now owns 8.3% of the entire European market. In Brazil, and so it's like 30% of the market. So it's growing really fast, really huge, and you have worldwide audience. This is not something to ignore. Now, coming to Windows 8. Windows 8 was a bold new step by Microsoft in trying to revamp and make a desktop experience into this beautiful touch experience, right? And you probably might have heard this before. Windows 8 was a touch-first operating system. Now, what you might not know is how much work went behind making this work, right? Here's a very simple thing that people don't know. Microsoft did the research on figuring out what is the best way to create a touch experience. The tip of a finger for a baby is about 5 to 8 millimeters in width. And for some basketball players, it can be almost 19 millimeters. That's like 2 centimeters, huge. Right? How do you make a user experience work the same way for all this entire gamut of users? How do you do that? That's what we did. We went back and we actually designed the entire interface to be touch-friendly. Everything works, whether you have thin fingers, fat fingers, everything works. It's smooth, it scrolls fine, it looks beautiful. So that's how we designed the touch-first Windows experience. And the second thing that we did was, Windows always considered this desktop operating system, right? But we decided that, no, it has to run a tablet. It has to have super battery life. Even on really low CPU, it has to be super smooth. So we redesigned everything right from the chipset up. So we have the ARM devices, tablets, and then we have all the way to this Uber desktops where you can have awesome experiences. The beauty, again, the same app without any modification runs on all these platforms. No change. So for you as a developer, that's value. Now, sorry. Going back there. This is, again, another thing, developer-friendly thing. We always knew there are C++ developers. There are Einsteins in the world who can write code in sleep, right? And then there are C# developers who are really familiar, again, with the entire Windows ecosystem. Then we realized that nobody in the entire marketplace, forget Microsoft, forget it's iOS, Android, no one has ever gives the JavaScript and HTML developers the upfront and the right sitting in the front seat. So we went and decided that we will make JavaScript and HTML the very best experience on Windows 8. It's all hardware accelerated. There is no interop layer. It is directly running on the OS. You cannot get this experience anywhere else. Not only you don't have to use any interop layers, which means you have access to the file system, you have access to the devices, you have access to the networking stack, you have access to every single thing that is accessible by C++ and C# code. It is a truly first-class citizen. That is the beauty that we built while architecting this entire stack. Then, if we look at the Windows Store is not restricted to just tablets. It goes from the tablets to the laptops, to the ultrabooks, to the desktops. So literally, when I was saying, if you have a kid with a tablet playing along, you have the Windows Store there. You have the ability to monetize and sell there. But if there is a secretary sitting in an office with her little box and doing spreadsheets, the Windows Store exists there. You can sell there again. So you have this entire incredible space to sell and monetize in. So that's what the Windows 8 experience actually means. And if that was not enough to drive the point, let's take a look at all the devices. These are the variety of devices that all run Windows 8. They all run the same code without modification. And you can look at the tablets, the convertibles, the ultrabooks, the all-in-ones. They all run the same app, exact same app. OK. Let me run through the animation. OK. There is a list here. And I'm not going to go through the whole list. What I want to impress upon you is the fact that Windows 8 was designed for not only the end users, but also for the app developers. We know that it is really hard for an app developer to put their app in front of the users, right? You want more eyeballs on your product so that you can show the functionality, so that you can actually show that, hey, here is this cool thing that I can do, right? So unlike other OSs, we actually exposed your app again and again and again. And I'll give you the examples. Right on the start screen, your app exists not as a static icon, but as a live tile. So every time the user looks at it, they can see different content. You have a notification that you wanted to push, you wanted to show a picture, you wanted to show a new message. It's all there right in front. The user feels that your app is actually alive. So they have a higher reason to go inside your app. Then there are two more things, the share charm and the search charm. Share is an ability by your app. Like your app can actually share data out of itself to other apps. The beauty, again, you don't have to do much. You don't have to worry about which app is the app that you're sharing with. You don't have to know anything about it. The OS takes care of all of that. You just have to write a simple handler, and the OS takes care of that. The same thing again. If you can declare that I can accept share data, any app can share to you. So suddenly your surface area is huge. If you're a photo editing app, suddenly you can be accessed from Facebook, you can be accessed from Twitter, you can be accessed from a photo editing app, whichever way. That's the beauty. The second thing, again, search. If the user tries to search, the operating system brings this little search bar, and all the apps are listed down there, saying these are the apps that can provide the search result. Your app will be listed. If your app is providing really good search results and the user clicks on it, slowly your app will move up, 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 up. You have the choice of making your app stand out. You have the choice, or actually you get a lot more exposure because the OS is trying to push your app right up in the front. So that is the beauty of Windows 8. We have, even we went ahead and one more step. In the modern IE, the modern Internet Explorer, we allow people to actually share directly from the websites. So if you have an optimized website for IE, you will be able to do a ton of stuff that was simply not possible before. OK, the good news. We realized that there were some things that were still rough on Windows 8 around the edges. So we came up with Windows 8.1, and we made it free. You have a copy of Windows 8. You're going to get the copy of Windows 8.1 for free. All the work, all the hard work that we have been doing for the last 1 year, is coming to you for free as a store download. OK, looking at the APIs. So if you look on the screen, there are a ton of APIs. Anything that you can think of, it's Windows, right? All the hardware is available. All the graphics is available. The communications, the services, everything is available. We went ahead and actually made improvements in the key areas where we got feedback. In geolocation, in proximity, DirectX, Bing, Azure mobile services, contracts, wherever. And then we went on ahead and actually added things. So we realized that even though you could do HTML5 JavaScript accelerated apps, you didn't have WebGL. So you couldn't build really kick-ass and awesome games. So we built WebGL in 8.1. You have full access to WebGL. So now one more reason for all the web developers to come in and start building apps for Windows 8. The second thing, we created a brand new HTTP client. So previously, if you were doing C++ versus C# versus JavaScript apps, you had to learn 3 different kind of network APIs. This time around, we built one single brand new stack which works consistently across all the 3. Let it sink for a second. It works exactly same in JavaScript and in C# and C++. So you have this entire plethora of languages accessible with the exact same API. We added diagnostics. Diagnostic support, you are developers, you can appreciate that we have things like you can have a piece of code, and you can measure how that piece of code is actually affecting your battery. You can run things like that and figure out why is your app slow? Why is it consuming so much battery? Where are the bottlenecks? These kind of things are simply not possible in any other platform because these are not exposed. The last thing, this is kind of cool, geeky, but we actually added 3D printing. This was big. You can use a 3D schematic, and you can right-click and say print to. And if you have a 3D printer connected, it will start printing. We actually demoed this at Build, and people just went crazy. You can build whatever you want. If you want to build a cup, you can build a cup. You can build whatever you want. It's just amazing. So these are the support that we actually built in 8.1. And with that, I'm going to hand over the baton to my colleague, Ashwin, who will take over how to monetize apps.
Thank you. Hello? Audible? OK. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sanjeev, for the talk. Yeah, I think Sanjeev has driven home the point that there is an opportunity that you can't ignore right in front of you. So I'm Ashwin. I'm a program manager in the Windows ecosystem team. And my day job is I work with partners, including Parse here, and many other platform service providers and SDK service providers who enable app developers get their app on Windows Phone and Windows Store and make money out of them or shine. So here I am to give you a few tips from what we have been hearing from our partners, what we have been learning from app developers out there. And hey, I myself have an app out there. Sanjeev has an app out there. We learned stuff, but I know you guys have been living and breathing this. You guys build apps all the time. So here are some of the tips from what we've learned. We want to share on Windows Phone and Windows 8, new platform. How do you start monetizing? That's the whole reason why we are building apps. So we'd like to start with saying what are the few tips for effective app monetization. It's just simply not about, okay, I just want to put a button there to make to let the user make a purchase and make money. No, if you went to the previous talk from Bear Douglas from Facebook, there's a lot more that goes in, a lot more thinking, a lot more analysis, a lot more design, and all that thing that should go in to make sure you are doing the right things to make to monetize your apps better. So let me start with saying that before you even just go and build an app and probably just throw it out there, you just start thinking, and you want to know and understand the platform at least to some extent, like to make sure you can leverage the capabilities of this platform to improve user experience and developer productivity. Just stop and think for a while that, okay, do I understand the core critical things that this platform provides so that I can start monetizing it better, effectively. And key point there is developer productivity, because you want to make sure you can do you can build an app in n different ways and lose productivity, but we want to focus on developer productivity, and we will dig into this soon. So definitely, this is like the point. I mean, yeah, I mean, I want to design and make sure I have hooks into my apps to start monetizing my existing users. But what we can't ignore is that you want to make sure your app is designed as well to start acquiring new users. I mean, think about this. This is what developers tell us all the time. At any point in time, I'm doing one of these two things. Either I'm monetizing my existing user or trying to re-engage them, or I'm trying hard to find ways to acquire new users. And that's exactly what Facebook ads and everybody is helping you, like, hey, share it with my social network and get me. So these two things, there are hooks, there are options, there are things that you can do on Windows 4 and Windows 8 to get you there, and we'll soon take a look at it. The last one which I want to talk about is use the right tools for the right job. I mean, we've been hearing from customers that, hey, I put 60% of my whole entire effort in actually building the app, which is my core expertise. I write C# or I write C++ games and DirectX, and I know that well. That's what I do. But then there is all that thing that happens around it, all the goo that goes in. That's 40% of it, including analytics, including logging stuff, and taking care of payments, choosing the right set of ads, and even thinking about cross-platform and porting your app and all those things that goes in. That costs you. I mean, that's a part of your monetization strategy, right? So reduce costs, that's big one. And reduce time to market. Yes, I mean, you want to do something. If there are ways to save time by sharing code, you should definitely make use of those. And that goes to the first part of saying that I know what the platform's capabilities are, and again, I know what I should do to start reducing my time to market. And definitely delight users. I mean, choose the right approach, right? So let's dig into one of each of these and learn monetization strategies better, that works better on Windows. So the first thing I want to talk about is boost your productivity by using what you know. I mean, that's what the platform, and Sanjeev mentioned that that's one of the biggest advantages of Windows, is that's given you the choice to use what you know. We just don't have to restart learning a brand new language just because of it. It gave you, as web developers out there, all the power and all your skills you have already developed so far in JavaScript and HTML world to bring that onto Windows, and you can build native apps, right? You can use, if you have been developing for Windows for a long time, so C# and .NET and XAML, you've been there, you know everything, and so you just bring that with you. And C++, you've been building games for Xbox or other consoles, or you've been building desktop games on Steam and Valve, and yeah, I mean, you can build your C++ and DirectX skills, right? So know what the platform offers, and so then start planning your app monetization strategy. Second one, this is something very unique, and developers love us for this kind of feature, is the async programming model. So you can use the async and await model. I mean, it's too much to explain here in detail, but definitely you can stop at our booth and we'll show you even demos. Think about it. People had to think about a lot and to make sure they give an easier, better user experience by writing non-blocking code by higher responsive UIs. They had to do a lot of work to get there. But with the new async programming model, it became so easy. It was baked into the platform to make sure that you don't spend so much time trying to figure out how to write non-blocking code. So you use the async keyword. In fact, many of the methods that the Windows runtime itself offers are async. You can't even escape writing a method or making an HTTP call without even using the async await keyword in C# maybe. So leverage one of the key core features that the platform offers for improving developer productivity. The third one I want to drive home is runtime components. Now, we mentioned about JavaScript, HTML, XAML, and everything. Yes, you can write components, you can write apps using any of these technologies that you know. But you may want to say, hey, I am actually an SDK builder. I want to start shipping components that my customers can start using across different Windows apps. Then what do? I want to write that piece of my core. I want to write a physics engine. I want to write something. What do I use? And yes, you can use Windows runtime components. They are redistributable shared components. So you can write that in C# or C++. And guess what? They can be consumed from your JavaScript, HTML, or your XAML, C++, XAML, C#, XAML, or VB, or any of these apps, just the same way it can consume to the other language. So they are all exposed as WinRT APIs, third-party WinRT APIs from your code, and it works seamlessly. So that's like write once, and then you can use it across different languages. And the last one, then the question comes, okay, what about Windows Phone? I want to share code between Windows Phone and Windows 8, right? I mean, that's one of the key things that we hear from customers. You can definitely use Windows runtime components too. They have some restrictions when it goes to Windows Phone, but one option you can definitely use is portable class libraries. Portable class libraries is a project that helps you choose, like, hey, okay, these are all the namespaces, these are all the collections I want to use in both the project, and it lets you create a backend common piece or a common DLL. Think about like a common DLL that can work and that can execute as such on both Windows Phone as well as Windows 8, right? So keep these things in mind while you're monetizing your, while you're planning your monetization strategy, that, hey, I want to take advantage of the developer productivity features the platform just offers to me out of the box. Right. So the next one is monetize your existing users. And this is where the major chunk of all your methods of making money from the app comes from, right? So the option is the old school method, yeah, pay per download. But as you can see from all the market reports we have been hearing and we've been reading that, pay per download is probably, the number of apps offering pay per download is going lower than the number of apps actually now monetizing via in-app purchases and creative stuff such as incentivized downloads and trials. Now, if you can think about it, so pay per download, then we have in-app purchases. You have trials, and though Sanjeev here himself is a part of the team who actually coded the trials feature in Windows. So you have time-based trials and feature differentiated trial. You can say, oh, this app actually stops working after 7 days, and reminder comes to user like, well, it's time to purchase. Or you can say, well, this feature works only if you buy the premium or you upgrade to the paid model. Now that, if you look at all these three plus the actually the three points in the on the top, everything is available to you as APIs, native APIs directly from the store, right? So you want to know about what are the options that you can monetize. Now, just to highlight that, no code is required to on your side to to call an app as, okay, this is a trial, this is time-based. You can just all do this all in your developer dashboard. So it made it super easy for you to set up trials, time-based or feature differentiated. Now, the fourth one is store supports alternate payment methods. Now, this is different from the direct third-party commerce. I want to call it out that Windows Store, like Sanjeev mentioned earlier, has a reach of over 200 plus countries, right? There are countries where credit card billing doesn't work. PayPal is not used in Africa. PayPal is probably not used in Asia either. There is something called Alipay that they use in China. So there is mobile operator billing, right? That is where you say, hey, you want to purchase this app, then please enter your phone number, and then you get a token or like a code on your phone by text. You enter that, and then your app is purchased. The app is charged to your mobile bill. Now that works a lot in many different continents and countries, and so we went ahead to make sure that that support is available natively on the store for you guys to monetize. So that means in some countries without you doing anything, if your app is running in China, it's automatically available via Alipay as a payment option. If your app is running in US, you have support for credit cards and PayPal. I mean, without you doing anything about it, right? So that's the extent that the store is offering you. And yeah, the next one is in-app ads, which we know. I mean, the whole existence and the growth of the ad industry in the mobile world is a proof to that. I mean, you have banner ad, interstitial ads, video ad, interactive ads. You have incentivized download. Hey, watch this video and come back and get these 10 coins for free. You have all sort of things, and we will show you some of the partners who are available right now for Windows, and more coming soon. The second last point is something you want to note, because this is something unique for Windows now. So you have direct third-party commerce integration available. That means you can set up your own payment backend system, use PayPal, or create your own billing system and add it to your app and start making more money. There is no cut, there is nothing taken away from you because of that. So that's available on Windows, right? Yeah, I mean, that gives you an ability to save more. Yeah, definitely you have more work to do because you have to now manage a little bit of the billing and the commerce perspective of it, but it's an opportunity for you. I mean, if you think that's the way I can make more money, sure, go for it. And the last one is we now added prepaid and gift card support. So when somebody in a corporate event or somebody gives you like, hey, here is a Windows Store or a Windows Phone gift card, you could redeem them actually to buy prices. So it means more opportunity for easier, I mean, like it's an easier option for now customers to come and buy an app instead of using just their credit card in the store. Oh, and just to mention that the regular split is 70-30, but after the revenue, your revenue hits $25,000, the split actually goes down to 80-20. So if you're serious and you started really making revenue on Windows Store, then now, okay, so we are ready to partner with you more, and then we are giving you a better cut of it, right? And that works for all the first, second, third, and fourth points. And when you're doing the ads, you keep everything. It's you and whoever you're dealing the ad with. It could be Facebook ads, it could be InMobi or ads or TapJoy or anybody. And the third-party commerce, we don't take a cut. It's you who's dealing with the billing operators. All right, so we now know how to monetize our existing users on Windows, and this applies for Windows Phone and Windows 8, whatever we spoke. The next one is that you can't ignore not doing anything about acquiring new users in your app. And like Sanjeev mentioned earlier, the Windows platform itself provides you hooks to do that. First, the Windows Store has an improved experience, right? In Windows 8.1, which is coming now, you have a spotlight specific for the device category. There are surface picks. Now if you are getting a Lenovo app, and then Lenovo gets to like list, like here is Lenovo picks. Here are recommendations based on your previous app downloads. You have other apps by this developer. If you like a game by one particular developer, say, I want to try another app by this developer. There are related apps. Now, these are out-of-the-box scenarios, out-of-the-box experiences available for app developers to start making, to start acquiring more users by getting their app in front of a broader and better audience who are likely to buy their app or start using their app. There are definitely cross-promotion services, and we do have partners who actually do ad exchanges. Hey, here is another app, and then I show my app as an ad in another person's app, and then he or she shows her app as an ad in mine. And so there are definitely these ad exchanges, and we have AdDuplex as a great partner who's been helping drive such user acquisition. So you can definitely check out AdDuplex SDK, and I can't speak more now, but definitely we are on the track to get more partners like that in the ad exchange world. So definitely start thinking about, hey, I should have a strategy on one page or one scenario or one level of my game or app where I should probably start cross-promoting to get more users. So it could be from my own apps, other apps, or it could be from my different category of apps from my partners network. The third one is, I can't emphasize this point enough, is that the least we could do as developers in our app is to make sure that we leverage the share contract. This is when you swipe from the right side and then say, hey, I want to share something. Now, if your most loyal users finish the level in a game, most difficult level, and he had like an awesome screenshot of that, and it's like, hey, I just want to check out, I just want to share this with my friends, and the user does a swipe to get to the share charm, and it will be bad if the app doesn't support the share contract. That means the OS is giving you the hooks to say, hey, without you doing much of any writing of code in that, like Sanjeev mentioned, the OS is giving you like, hey, give me the handle. What do you want me to share? What do you want me to make it available to share to others? So that means when you're signing up for a share contract API, you are saying, hey, X content from my app is ready to be shared, and whoever has an ability to share, it could be the Facebook app, it could be a Twitter app, it could be stumbled upon, it could be Tumblr, it could be just email, it could be anything. So any of these apps which are available on your tablet now have the ability to share it. Mail it, share it, do whatever. So enable your app to make use of the share contract. Maybe the search contract too, but mainly the share contract, so that at least your loyal users who really want to explicitly go and share information can definitely like, okay, it can do. I mean, the worst thing that happened is I played one of the games which are really loud, which is in one of the top 10 games on Windows Store, and the developer was fairly new. And when I played, I loved what I completed, and I swiped to, I just want to share it with my friends, check out what I did. And then he said, sorry, this app does not support share. I mean, that's bad. I mean, it's like, oh my God, you just lost 10 potential users. My friends would have tried it right now if I had shared it. So make sure you take care of the share contract. Lastly, it goes without saying, Facebook is, we see from all the market reports that Twitter and Facebook and now Google+, most of the social networks are gaining a lot of momentum. People like to share. People are okay with using their Facebook login to get into some of these apps, and Spotify and iHeartRadio and some of these songs, Shazam, all of these apps are showing that. I mean, like people log in with this Facebook or social network login. So make sure you can use the Facebook SDK, and we do have a Facebook SDK, and we'll show you a list of the SDKs we have. So you can use the Facebook SDK to actually integrate and promote your experiences on the social network. So use Facebook login if necessary. Enable sharing with friends if necessary, and you can do that for both Windows Phone as well as Windows 8. So don't leave a stone unturned to get users when you're actually not monetizing the existing users. And the last one is, yeah, don't try to do everything on your own. I mean, the whole reason for even the growth and existence of Parse was the fact that when we heard in the keynote that there is always the core competencies that these developers have, and there are their key skills that they do, but there is this 40% of the stuff that has to be done to make the app successful or to make money out of it. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. Start know about all these options that you have to reduce your costs and to reduce the time to market, and then definitely delight users. So out of the box, if you want to stick to the Microsoft services, yes, we do have Windows Azure Mobile Services, which supports social, push, and storage. We do have Bing Maps and Bing SDKs for search and everything integration. We have Microsoft provides Microsoft Ads, which you can use in Windows Phone and Windows 8. And we have the SkyDrive APIs for storage. We have Hotmail and Outlook, right? So we have everything from Microsoft. But hey, you have a choice. I mean, you can always go to the last point and say, hey, I want partner tools. I'm an iOS and Android developer, and I'm using Parse on my other apps on iOS and Android. Guess what? I want to use the same service from Parse on my Windows Phone and Windows 8. Yes, we have it. So we have, thanks to Parse, we have a Parse SDK for Windows Phone and Windows 8. So you can do that. So you can use the same backend as a service, same ad network, or same tools, whatever you've been analytics, whatever you have been using, you could definitely start reusing them or just leveraging the same features in your Windows Phone and Windows 8 app. So the WAC is something I want to just specifically call out, and there is an equivalent for that for the Windows Phone as well. Is before you submit your app, make sure you test them using this app certification kit. It is again one of those things and tricks you need to do to reduce your time to market. You don't want the app to get rejected. We don't just approve apps as you immediately submit, but there is a certain bar and quality. So the WAC or the app certification kit is a tool that you can run in your development environment along with Visual Studio to make sure most of the scenarios that the store store actually runs on their side to ensure your app is not violating any certification policies. So you can run that in your local. Visual Studio out of the box comes with a lot of performance analysis tools, and it has been improved in 8.1. A phone has a lot, and so if you're coming from the iOS and Android world, you're familiar with instruments and you know about DDMS for Android. So guess what? I mean, you have a lot of that baked in directly in Visual Studio, and you don't even have to go and download them specifically as different plugins. So there you have it. So use some of these things to do the right job, save your time, and delight users. Now, as we move on the last point, this is something I want you guys probably to take a note of, and we'll be spending more time in making this better. There is our website which lists, and you can filter through them. You can find whatever tools for the right, whichever feature you want or what area you're focused on, you can find the right tool for that. So services.windowsstore.com is a one-stop shop where you can locate analytics, advertising, controls, cross-platform tools, performance-related tools, push notifications. That's the screenshot showing you, like, if I search for push notification, these are all the partners I have who support Windows 8, right? So storage, social plugins. So you will find Facebook there when you go and click on social plugins. And storage, I will see SkyDrive, I will see Parse, I will see like Amazon. So and the same thing we have for Windows Phone as well, and we are currently working on like bringing them together. When you go to the Windows Phone side, you can definitely find a similar list of partners offering services for Windows Phone. So that concludes the main, the main piece I wanted to cover on app monetization, the 4 things. One more thing, as if you are new to the platform and if you are just getting started, if you want to find the right resources, one thing you want to just keep in mind is just dev.microsoft.com. And the important thing to note is that it is designed for your background. I mean, it is designed for which platform or background are you coming from, so that it's designed to, like, you can approach it in the way you want. So I build Android apps or I build iOS apps. So that particular subsite, when you go inside, is tailored for you. So you can go and find the API mappings, you can find the right set of tools that you can correlate to easily understand how this platform differs from that and what you can learn as a delta to now go and build an app. And so use this as a one-stop. So it has samples, API mappings, any developer documentation you want, all the forums, anything to get you started. And so as we finish our talk, I want to thank Parse as well for giving us an opportunity. And so we want to also tell you that we have a booth, and many of you have probably been to the booth already. We have a Windows Trivia Challenge happening there, where you can answer 10 questions. Now that you learned everything about Windows and Windows Phone, you should be able to get 10 out of 10. So take the Trivia Challenge, and you could enter to win a Surface Pro and other prizes at 5 p.m. The raffle will happen at 5 p.m. So, oh, by the way, that itself is a Parse-powered app. We have analytics and the data APIs from Parse that we are using to log it. So that itself is an example. Yeah. So thank you so much. And here's our email ID. If you have any questions or any thoughts, either stop by at our booth or just email us. I'm happy to talk. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So for developers and companies that are driving a lot of their kind of desktop client downloads through the web right now, do you think the Windows Store is going to change that experience at all? Like, for example, I obviously have Dropbox and Evernote that I've downloaded through my computer through their websites. Now that you have a specific store that you take commerce from that, are you guys expecting that experience to change at all or not at all?
Well, we are not. I mean, just to understand your question, we are not. If you're asking, are we going to stop promoting any of the desktop experiences or desktop apps at all? Is that your question?
No, I'm just before the main way you would distribute client-side software was through downloads through independent websites.
Yeah, and
now,
you can still do that, like downloads.com, right?
Yeah. And so just now that you have a Windows Store that you would probably want most of your traffic coming through, is there anything actively being done on that side?
You have desktop apps available.
At this point of time,
well.
I mean, Windows Store allows people to go ahead and onboard their apps, which effectively puts a link through Windows Store. So the searchability and visibility increases. The eventual download still happens from the website itself, but it is exposed in the store.
Yeah. So you can click on on the store, you have a desktop app. It says it's a desktop. It tells you clearly that it's a desktop app. When you click on it, it takes you to that vendor's website. Now, yeah, so discoverability, the store helps you. So if you have WinZip or Winamp, which is available on the Windows Store, yes, it will take you directly to the Windows, so the WinZip's website. So that helps. Yeah. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So come say hi to us at the booth and take part in the challenge, and maybe you will walk away with the Surface Pro today.